What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be continuing our LSPDFR tutorial series. Today, we're going to be installing a car pack and a ENV, which is a graphics mod. And we're also going to be installing the new LSPDFR update that came out yesterday, I believe. By the time when I'm recording this, I'm not sure. So, yeah, LSPDFR released an update fixing some crashing issues. So, instead of build 8025, we're on build 8037. What this adds is crash version checking the pause menu, interaction menu saved, fixed a rare crash, and a critical bug. So yeah, what you're gonna do is you're gonna head to the LSPDFR website and download the latest version, because that's what we're gonna be using. You don't have to, but it might help. We're also gonna be installing Tactical Donuts LAPD pack. The one with 19 vehicles. We're only going to be installing 3 vehicles today, and I'll explain why in a little bit. And then we're also going to be installing the graphics mod NaturalVision Evolved. This is a paid graphics mod, so if you don't have it, I'll leave a link in the description to Ray's mod's Patreon page. You have to be a gold member, and that gives you access to NaturalVision Evolved. So yeah, all these links will be in the description. I recommend go downloading these. If you don't have NVE, just download Make Visuals Great Again or something like that. Let me just find it real quick. Make Visuals Great Again. Alright, so if you want it, link will be in the description. You go to darkmire. Oh, nice. Alright, well, that's weird. It's the same process for a graphics mod. So find a graphics mod you like. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna download all of these. Well, if you don't have to get this one. But download these two. Once you've downloaded them all, what you're gonna do is you're gonna close your browser because you don't need it. That's a promise this time. So yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our ENB ready to go. We're also gonna get our LSPDFR ready to go. So we're using this version. I'm actually gonna delete the old version. Just to make sure it's gone. And then we are gonna get the LAPD pack. So once you've extracted, I recommend extracting it to a folder instead of the zip file. What you're gonna do is the first thing we're gonna install is the new LSPDFR. So same as the first episode, you drag, you copy all of these, and then you drag and drop them into your directory. Replace anything that it asks you to. This will take a moment here. While that's moving over, what we're going to do is we're going to get ready to install this. So when you unzip the file, you're going to see installation, some a dash cam offset, which is good because we're going to install that in a later video. Replace these files if it asks you to. About, credits, vehicle files, and all that. So you're going to be, obviously the vehicle files is the vehicle files. We're going to be using this folder. We're also going to be using the ELS folder. Like this. You may notice a file called LAPD Add-On, and it has a big dlclist.xml file when you open that. Don't touch the add-on. We're going to use that in a later episode, and I'll explain what that does in just a moment once we've installed the vehicles. And we also have vehicle data files which we're going to install. So these have handling lines and all that, just to make sure the vehicles work. So what we're going to do is we are going to close this. We're going to open our Open4. I have it pinned on my taskbar. If you don't have it pinned on your taskbar, it's up to completely personal preference. All you need to do is press your Windows key and go to type in Open, and then it's the first app that pops up. So now that you're in game, what we're going to do is we're going to head to Mods, Update, update.rpf, common data DLC. We're going to make sure this doesn't say encrypted, because if it does, that means we're going to have to redo everything. It shouldn't say encrypted. If you open it, all it should say is 2 new ones at the bottom, EUP and SUP. These are going to be altered later on when we run an OIV file, just like the EUP, except it's going to be a bunch more. So we're going to make sure this is not corrupted, because I was on the Facebook group today and I saw some guy had his DLC list corrupted, and 𝗬𝗺313 said, grab a stock one, redo your thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to head, so now that we've verified that, we're going to go to mods, update, 𝗬𝗺64 DLC packs. We're gonna come all the way down to the bottom to patch day 26. Now if you've seen previous tutorials, normally they say patch day 9, patch day 21. You always want to use your latest patch day, because that ensures that the vehicles will work. So you open the latest patch day, dlc.rpf, 𝗬𝗺64 models, CD images. Oh no. 𝗬𝗺64 levels GTA 5 vehicles.rpf. There you go. 𝗬𝗺64 levels GTA vehicles.rpf. Now you're going to see a bunch of vehicles in here. These are just vehicles that were added in the latest DLC to GTA 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to open our vehicle files and we are going to choose the vehicles that we're going to use. We're going to open the installation.txt. It's just, this is telling you about the add-on DLC. We'll worry about that another time. This is telling you all the locations to put the data files, so we're going to keep this open. Okay, this is just add-on, so we're going to use this later. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the vehicle files. We're going to open every single vehicle here. If you don't have a beefy PC, I don't recommend opening all these at once, but we are going to look at the ones that we want to use. So my open 4 is going to crash in a minute. So we're going to see what all these vehicles are, and we're going to choose the ones that we want to use. I recommend leaving default names for vehicles, but if you want to change the slot, all you need to do is highlight the 3 files and press F2 and rename them. So these are just opening now. So there's the CVPI. Whichever one opens first. Waiting on the last one, please 3. All right. So now that's there, we're going to minimize all of these. So I recommend we use police, the slot police, which is these 3 right here, police 2 and police 3, because those are the default slots for LSPD. So the police slot is the Crown Victoria, which we're going to use. Police 2 is a 14 Charger, which we're going to use. And police 3 is a Ford Taurus, which we're going to use. FBI, FBI 2, and police 4 are optional. I'm not going to use these slots because I have other plans in mind for those vehicle slots. So if you do want to use them, police 4 is an unmarked detective police cruiser. FBI 2 is a traffic / metro unmarked 14 Charger, and then FBI is the 18 unmarked / metro Charger. So if you want to use those, they're there. What we are going to do is we're going to select all the way from the bottom of police 3 to the top of police 1 or police, and we are going to go back into our open 4. Make sure edit mode is on. Always make sure edit mode's on. Make sure you're in your mods folder as well. I can't stress that enough. Make sure your mods folder is on. Now, if you're new to modding, which is probably why you're here, I recommend installing one vehicle at a time, just in case one of the vehicles is corrupted and you know to take it out. But since I know this pack works because I've used it in multiple installs of my game, I'm gonna take 3 vehicles. I'm gonna take these 3 vehicles and put them in. If your PC, like I said, if it's not the best of computers, only do one thing at a time. You should probably be doing one at a time anyway. But I'm gonna take these 3. We're gonna drag them and drop them in here. As you can see, they're gonna appear at the bottom here. So we're just gonna verify that they're dragged in. You can click and open all 3 vehicle types like so. There we go. Great. So now what we're gonna do is now that these are installed, we're gonna hop in game, make sure it works, and then after that we are gonna install an ENB. But before we head in game, we're gonna do this ELS file. Now that we took police 1, police 2, and police 3, what we can do is we can take the 3 files. We can go to our game directory, open ELS pack_default, and we can copy these 3 files. Always copy if you're using in File Explorer. If it's in a zip folder, you can just drag. But if you're using File Explorer, please copy and paste the files, because if you don't copy and you just move them, it's gonna cut them from this folder and put them in this. So please copy and paste. I also dragged the wrong file because I'm a dumbass. So what I'm actually gonna do, I am actually gonna take all of these ELS files because we are gonna use them all eventually. So we're just gonna paste them all in here. We're not gonna use them all, and that's okay. What I like to do, is come into the ELS .xml or the vehicle.xml. If you do not know what you're doing, you can just skip ahead. This part is more for advanced users, I guess you could say. What I like to do is I like to come into the sounds area down here, and I like to disable siren tone 3. Because of California law. This is a California-based game, and the reason I'm disabling siren tone 3 is because that is the priority tone. In California, the priority tone is illegal, so they're only allowed to use a Yelp and a whale. A whale and a Yelp siren. They're not allowed to use a priority siren. And then, as you can see, siren tone 4 is already disabled. That's because it's an ambulance tone. You can leave siren tone 3 enabled if you want, if you like your priority tone. I do like the priority tone, but I'm going for realism here, so we're gonna disable it. We're gonna do this for police 2 and police 3. Right, I'm actually gonna go do it for all of them. But I'm gonna save you guys the time by cutting it. So I will see you all in game to make sure the vehicles are working. See you all in a minute. Alrighty, now that we're loading in game, your game's not gonna look like this. I had to install ENB series because I was playing 5M the other day with Officer Smith. So your game's gonna look relatively normal, I want to say. My game's graphics have been slightly enhanced, but again, should be normal for all of you. So I just realized that I forgot to install the vehicle meta files and all that. But we're in game, so it works. And when we hop out, we're going to install them. So what you're going to do is you're going to press F3, open your trailer, go to vehicle spawning, come down to emergency, and you're going to spawn police cruiser, all 3 of these. So the first one right here should be the Crown Victoria. Also, I'm recording, so it's going to take a minute. You know, if it wants to load, that'd be fucking great. Let me try something. Let's try doing that. They are obviously high poly models as well, so Or, well, not high poly, medium poly models. There we go. So, obviously, your lights are bland and horrible looking. That's quite normal. Alright, so, obviously, the CVPI works. We're also going to spawn the charger. There we go. So here's the charger, just to prove it works as well. Here's the extras at work, showing you can have different light patterns and all that. And then finally we're going to spawn the Taurus, and I'm going to show you around ELS properly this time, because I couldn't really do it well in the first part. Alright, there we go. So now that your vehicles work, what you can do is you can hit Control P, which will open a little nice menu in the bottom. When you by default, these are set to set patterns because they're custom ELS files. You can mess with these all you like. Obviously, I recommend sticking to the ones that are set by default. Alright, so we're going to leave it at 14 because that's what it was set to. Now cruise is left bracket. Obviously, no cruise lights come on. Right bracket is your takedowns. L is your secondary lights, wherever those may be. Like I said, K is your traffic advisor, and then this button, the button between Shift and Z is your lights. Alright. So that was the only thing I installed, if I'm correct. So now what we can do is we're just going to drive around, verify that they don't flip over or anything like that. Obviously they don't, because we're using the slots that they were made for. So what we're going to do is we're going to head out now, install an E and B and the vehicle meta files to verify that they do work and they won't crash. Ignore the texture loss. That's what happens when you record. Alright, so we're going to head out game now. I think it's taking a moment to... There we go. Alright. So now, really we don't need this anymore. But I'm going to keep it open because I do want to make some edits. So now that that's done there, what we can do is we can go to our vehicle data files. But first we're going to open the installation. We're going to open our vehicle data files. I'm going to bring this over here. So the vehicle's meta file goes to this specific location. It says, I'm gonna shorten that. Alright. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it here. My face cam is in the way. Alright. So it says go to mods, update to RPF, common, data, levels, GTA 5. Now, what with this specific pack we've downloaded, he's given us vehicle meta files for certain updates. So I'm going to quickly check the version of GTA that we're on because I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'm hoping it's 2245. The way you can check is you can find your GTA5.exe. You can right click, go into properties, come down to details. It should say version, product version 2545. So I'm not sure. We're going to take a risk. Always make a backup of your files, please, before you install files. I'm not going to do that. I have a backup already. So if you don't have to make a backup, simply just make a folder on your desktop and then drag the file that you're going to edit, put it in a folder, then install the new one. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our vehicles.𝗦𝗁, going to drag, drop. There we go. Boom. Perfect. And then the car variations.ymt goes to mods, update to RPF, 1064, data. Take the car variations, drag and drop here, like so. All right, there we go. Oh, you know what it is? I'm a dumbass. Install this version. Install the one that's not depreciated. I'm a dumbass. So if you've already replaced it, just drag and drop these ones. There we go. So now that you've installed the vehicle files, you're practically done. I recommend going back in game, making sure everything works. But I know it works. Like I said, I've done this before. So what we're going to do is we are going to close this because we no longer need it. We are done with this pack for now. We're going to visit it in a later video. Now what we're going to do is we're going to close this and we are going to hit GTA 5 and we're going to open our zip folder of our graphics mod. I'm using NaturalVision Evolved by Raised. This is the December update. So I don't know. I think he does release them monthly, but I last got it in December. So I'm not paying monthly. I buy it like every 6 months or whatever, because it doesn't really bother me that much. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna take our main files. We're gonna take all of these. We're gonna drag and drop them into the directory, like that. We're gonna take the E and B. I recommend doing medium preset. That's the one that works for me. I'm gonna drag, drop into the directory like that. Optional add-ons. I like to go over these last. But we're gonna take the NaturalVision installer, the OIV, drag, drop onto Open4, just like we did with the other stuff. Now I'm using WinRAR, so it needs to extract it before it can actually use it. And basically it creates a temporary folder in your C drive which stores it, and then after you close it, it will delete it. Not from your computer, just it will delete the temporary folder. So this is gonna take forever. While that's happening, I'm gonna open this can of Monster because I need a drink. Not sponsored. Should be not sponsored. Now that that's done, pardon me, we do opens a little package installer. This says November build. It's a December build. Because it has the Christmas content in it. I think you just forgot to update this. So we go to install. Cannot say this enough. Mod folder, install to the mod folder. Otherwise you're gonna break everything and you're gonna have to restart from scratch. And trust me, no one likes to do that. I've had to do that a few times. Not because I installed it to the default folder, it's just because my game likes to corrupt sometimes. Now, what I have noticed with YV installers, sometimes they like bug out and they take longer than normal to install. If that happens, simply just close the installer and drag and drop it again. But normally NVE takes about a minute, 2 minutes to install because it's importing gigs of data into your game. And once this installs, I'm going to go to the dlclist.xml. Like I did at the start of the video, I'm going to verify that it installed properly. And if it didn't, I'm going to redo the install process. This is taking a hot minute, so I'll see you guys when it's finished installing. Okay. I think I have it working now. I don't know. I had to delete a bunch of files that it created, which was a first for me. So hopefully this works. So we can get back to what I was saying now. What we're going to install is we're going to install the game config for vehicle mods, which will be super helpful in the next video. The Northern Lights, Darker Nights. We're not going to install the content packs. Those are mainly for like October and December. White streetlights, parallax roads overhaul, brighter emergency lights, and a performance boost. Because NVE is very heavy on GTA. It drastically fucks your frames. So we're going to install all these once this installs. I'm going to give it a minute. I think I realized the mistake I made, which was it was taking way longer than normal to install, and I interrupted its installation. So I'm going to cut this, wait for it to finish installing, and I'll catch up with you guys in just a moment. Okay, so with enough time and patience and a little bit of scrolling through Instagram because I'm bored, it's done. This is the screen that should pop up. Installation succeeded. Run Grand Theft Auto 5. Do not run GTA 5 for the love of Christ. We are not done. We are going to install these. How many? 4, 5, 7 folders. I could be funny and right click and hit open and create lots of RAM usage on my computer, but no. So what you do, we're going to tab back in, we're going to install the performance boost because for the love of Christ, my PC needs it. Install mods folder, usual. What we can do, we can head to brighter emergency lights. It comes with an option with performance boost installed. I didn't know that. Whoops. So let me just install this. That works, I guess. It's being funny for me. Parallax roads, I think this is just like HD textures for roads. Like proper HD textures. So hopefully that works. Emergency lights. Install mods. Yes. Additionally, I will remove the excessive glow and taxi adverts and bus/metro LED signs for a more enjoyable experience. Great. We'll install parallax roads. Parallax roads will install new high-quality roads in various parts of Rockford Hills, Portola Drive, Burton, downtown Vinewood, downtown Los Santos, the runways at the airport, and the South Los Santos. Install mods. Great. Now we're going to go to white streetlights instead of like the yellowish glow ones, I guess you could say. Like I said, I recommend installing these one at a time, but I've used NVE before, so it's fine. Overwrite the original NVE streetlights and add white LED streetlights. Great. Got to make that game look ultra realistic without breaking the game. Darker nights because you want realism. Drag this. Nighttime extremely dark. Currently only supports the following weathers: extra sunny, clear, neutral, smog, foggy, cloudy, overcast, rain, and thunder. That's okay. So when it snows, it's going to be normal, basically. Remove wet roads effect. I think that just makes your cars less slidey. I'm not gonna do that because that's funny. It makes funny clips. It's recommended that you only use this add-on for screenshot purchases. I like taking screenshots, so I'm gonna install it. If you don't take screenshots, I don't recommend installing it. But either one. All right. Now this is the game changer right here. Game config. What a game config is it basically alters the settings that GTA 5 requires to run on your computer. Normally it's recommended if for example, if I go to the Steam store right here, and I go to view store page, which is over here. Oh, it's here. Never mind. I'm blind. Okay, great. All right. So when you come down here, it gives you all the specifications. Minimum, you need 4 gig of RAM and a decent graphics card, and then it's recommended you have 8 gig of RAM because it uses certain level of textures. And basically, by default, GTA 5 limits itself to how much RAM your computer can use. So when we put a game config in, it allows us to up that amount of RAM to be able to spawn vehicles with high textures, high poly cars, and all that. So basically, that's what it does, and it allows us to install add-on DLCs. With the LSPD fact that we installed today, if I put that add-on DLC in the game without this game config, my game would crash on startup every time without fail because it's trying to load something that it's not supposed to load. So if I install this game config, which I'm going to do because it's going to help a lot, like Ray is saying here, and I put that DLC in, it'll work now. Now you guys don't have to install this. I'm installing this because I don't know how stable the current version is of game config. So I'm installing it because I know this one works. In the next video, I'm gonna install the proper one when it's stable, and we're gonna install add-on DLC cars. So now that that optional add-ons has been dealt with, what we can do now is we can head in game, we can close Open4, and take a look at how beautiful our game is. So I'm going to hop in game real quick, and I'll catch up with you guys in a moment. My dumbass forgot to mention, when you launch GTA 5 for the first time, well, when you launch GTA 5, you're going to have a nice little cutscene that you load in to. I completely forgot, and I forgot to tell you guys about it. My bad. So you get a nice little cutscene when you spawn in, and well, not when you spawn. When you launch the game, you get a nice little cutscene. It reveals the NaturalVision Evolved logo. If you launch your game via Rage plugin hook, your game will crash. When you launch, or 90% of the time it will crash. Which is why I said in the first part, launch GTA via Steam or via Epic Games, whatever you use, and then wait for your game to launch and then use Rage plugin hook. That's what we do when we have graphics mods, because if we launch via Rage, our game will crash and all that. So I just wanted to point that out. That's why we do that. If it works for you and you can launch via Rage plugin hook, good on you. Do as your heart desires. But if you want a smoother game experience and you don't want it to crash on launch, I recommend wait until your game launches. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say because I forgot to mention that. So yeah, I'll see you guys in game. So you found yourself in game with NVE running. Look how beautiful the game looks. Now, if you press Shift Enter, you're gonna get like 25 frames a second. if you have a low-end PC like me, but it does look ridiculously beautiful. I say it's worth the frame drop. My personal opinion. If you don't like it, you can always uninstall it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna open our nice little EP menu here. Oh. Just put a random uniform on while that's going on. Look at that. The game looks so good. Now, remember how I was saying your lights will be bland? Not anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to spawn a CVPI. Alright, and we're going to look at that. Now, they may still look dull to you, but that's just the way NVE works. Other graphics mods, such as Make Visuals Great Again and NaturalVision Remastered, and what's the other one? Radiance V, I think. Visual V, all that. They make them just like boxes of lights, and it doesn't look good. But if that's what you want, go for it. But this is it running. It looks amazing. Now, remember when we did the ELS earlier, I took out the priority tone. When I press 1 on my keyboard, obviously it plays the siren. I'm going to change this later because it's the default siren. When I press 1... Oh, don't press the cheat code. When I go to flick through the sirens, I can press R, I think. I think it's R. Or, here, I'll do it on controller to make it that much easier. The way you turn your siren on controller is down on the D-pad, right here. Alright. And when I press B, I think I already went over this. It changes the tone. Normally, it would go through all three of the tones. So it goes wail, yelp, and then priority. Well, I edited it, and now when I go to my... This is my yelp siren. It goes back to the wail because we don't have a priority tone. Now, there is a slot for it in the Resident RPF, but we've told the game not to use it. So it's just going to go between the two. With the siren pack I'm planning to install, it's going to have multi-agency sirens. So the main one, which is going to replace the police siren, is the LAPD one. And then we're going to have a CHP siren, and we're going to have a sheriff siren. So I'll teach you guys how to edit those in XML files in another video. But right now, that is practically it. We are all good to go. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry this was a lengthy video, but if you stuck all the way to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Leave something in the comments below. Let's do... just comment NVE. There you go. Just comment NVE. That lets me know that you watched through the entire video, and I really do appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. I will be uploading a new video in the next couple of days. It's probably not going to be a tutorial video. It's probably going to be like an LSPDFR or something. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.